What pushes you beyond your comfort zone? Is it bungee jumping? Is it swimming with sharks? Is it when your house shakes during a storm when the lightning and thunder strikes? Or is it even getting up on stage and public speaking? Everybody has different limits and boundaries that they have trouble overcoming, but it is important to want to push these boundaries out of our comfort zones, because when we do, it's kind of a big deal. So what is the comfort zone exactly? Why is it something that we tend to get comfortable with in the familiarity of our routines? And why is it when we are introduced to new and interesting things, the glimmer fades so quickly? By definition, our comfort zone is a behavioral space where our activities, behaviors, fit a routine pattern that minimizes stress and risk. It provides a state of mental security. We benefit in obvious ways: regular happiness, low anxiety, and reduced stress. Even so, comfort zones are neither a good or bad thing. It's a natural state that most people trend towards. Leaving it means increased risk and anxiety, which can have positive and negative results. In my case, I experienced a positive result by undergoing a new experience. A challenge for me is trying new foods that are out of my comfort zone. So this past week, I enjoyed a Korean barbecue dining experience in Manhattan, New York for the first time. This took a little bravery on my end, as I typically feel very uncomfortable trying new foods, especially ones that I don't know what exactly it is that I am eating. Today I'll be speaking about the type of food I ate, the atmosphere of the restaurant, and finally, my overall experience. The term Korean barbecue, or gogigu in Korean, refers to the Korean method of roasting beef, pork, chicken, and other types of meat. The dish that I ate was prepared at the table I was dining at, and the meat was cooked on a gas grill built into the table itself. Here are actual pictures of my dining experience and some of the foods that I ordered. At first, this was just the table, how it was set up, and then this is when they started roasting the meat. Additionally, there are an array of fresh vegetables like a green onion salad, referred to as pajori, and other vegetable dishes including lettuce, cucumbers, and peppers, each dish featuring varying colored spices and other toppings. Throughout my experience though, not only was it the way that these dishes were prepared and what was in them, but the entire atmosphere of the restaurant was something that I was not used to. The atmosphere of the restaurant had a very different cultural vibe that was kind of humbling. I felt as though I had just walked into a new country. The restaurant was filled with Koreans, and they felt most comfortable ordering in their native tongue. This was a really cool experience because I had never been to Korea, and I enjoyed people watching and observing a new culture. The friend that had actually taken me to the restaurant was also Korean and ordered our food in Korean, so I had no idea what to expect. The restaurant layout included hanging vines and leaves all from the ceiling in decoration, and the restaurant also had a very quiet and peaceful atmosphere. Some sections in the dining area also didn't have regular seats. There were actually very low benches with pillows on them. Finally, I would like to touch on the overall of my experience. At first, I was extremely hesitant to try this new experience and unusual food because it was out of my comfort zone. But to my surprise, when I gathered up the courage to actually try it, I enjoyed almost all of it. The beef and chicken tasted like it had been marinated to perfection, and I really enjoyed the side vegetables too. In fact, the only few side dishes that I did not enjoy were the ones that were kind of spicy, but that's just my taste buds, and I can't handle hot foods I just don't like it. I am very satisfied that I was open to trying something new, and even though the thought of it kind of scared me. Overall, I enjoyed the food, atmosphere, and experience of dining in an authentic Korean barbecue restaurant. From this experience, I feel like I have learned to push my boundaries and hope to have an easier time doing so in the future. I felt as though this experience was a great way to broaden my perspective of foods that were outside my comfort zone and even experience a new part of another culture. I learned a valuable lesson, realizing the point of this experience was to just do it and push myself past the mental block that was telling me not to. To conclude, I thought I would share a saying that I found and felt strongly related. It's like life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Thank you for listening to my speech.